Hey class, in today's lesson we're going to talk about solving polynomial equations, which is found in section 5-3, part 3 of your book. We're going to solve polynomial equations by graphing. Alright, so example 3, we've technically kind of done something similar to this before when we were in quadratics, so I'll just kind of briefly explain it and then kind of move on. So on this one, as usual, we want to put it in standard form, so we're going to subtract, well, it doesn't matter, subtract 4x squared and subtract x. And we're left with x cubed minus 4x squared minus x plus 5 equal to 0. At that point, we will input this into y1 of your calculator in the graph section. So y1 equals x cubed minus 4x squared minus x plus 5. At that point, you can press graph, and remember you press second trace and then go down to 0, and then from there remember it's left bound, enter, right bound, enter, and then enter again. Remember, you're doing that around every, for example, if this is what our graph looks like, if it looks like this, remember you're doing that around every 0. Okay, and then what you should get as your final answers, if you practice that on your calculator, is that you should get x equals, and I'm going to use a different color, x equals negative 1.09, 1.16, and 3.93. Okay, so be sure that you practice that on your calculator. If you need a better explanation of that, just come see me in class and we can go over it. All right, so just like in our last example, what you will do is go ahead and put this in standard form. So to put this in standard form, remember you subtract x and add 1. And that gives you x cubed plus x squared minus x plus 1 equal to 0. All right, and so when you graph that, you go through all the functions. This time you'll only get one answer, and so that solution should be x equals negative 1.84. Again, if you need help with that process, just let me know when you come in for tutoring. All right, so in example 4, we have a word problem. I believe this is like our first word problem of this section, so let's go ahead and practice this. It says Stacy, Una, and Amir are close friends. Stacy is 1 year younger than Una. Amir is 2 years older than Una. If the product of their ages is 2,300 more than the sum of their ages, how old is each person? So since the sentences Stacy is Stacy's age, they're kind of centering it around Una, and once again, Amir is also being centered around Una. We should probably make Una equal x. Okay, so if Stacy is if Stacy is 1 year younger than Una, then Stacy is x minus 1. And if Amir is 2 years older than Una, then Amir is x plus 2. All right, so then the question goes on to say if the product of their ages, so the product, so that's x, x minus 1, x plus 2. If their product of their ages is means equals, right? So product is multiplication, is means equals. 2,300 more, so 2,300 more means addition. Then the sum of their ages, so that's x plus, x minus 1 plus x plus 2. Okay, how old is each person? So let's go ahead and go through this process of simplifying. First thing we want to do, let's deal with the multiplication first. So if I distribute the x for just the first part, okay, that would give me x squared minus x, and I still need to multiply that by x plus 2. Okay, if I keep going, I can probably simplify the right hand side a lot quicker. So that becomes 2,300 plus, combine all the x's. That's a positive x, a positive x, a positive x, so that's 3x. And then I have negative 1 and positive 2, so that becomes plus 1. All right, we still have more to simplify. All right, so that becomes, if I do the box, or if I just do distributive property, I'm actually on this one. Actually, since we've been practicing the box, I'll do the box. That's x squared and x. This becomes x, and that's negative x, by the way. This becomes x and 2. So this is x cubed. Below that is 2x squared. To the right is negative x squared. And below that is negative 2x. So on the left-hand side, if we combine like terms, that becomes x cubed plus x squared minus 2x. And on the right-hand side, if I combine like terms, that becomes 3x plus 2,301. At this point, we want to put everything in standard form. So I'm just going to move everything to the left. So if I subtract 3x and I subtract 2301, I get x cubed plus x squared minus 5x minus 2301, and that will equal 0. Excuse me. So from there, we can actually type that equation into our graphing calculator, find what the 0 is. So the only real solution that would make sense, because you may get negative answers, right? But the only one that will make sense here for the value of x will be 13. So if x is 13, then go back to Stacy. Stacy was x minus 1. So let's go back. Sorry, Una is 13. Stacy is 1 year younger, so that means Stacy is 12. And Amir is 2 years older, so Amir is 15. So 13 plus 2 is 15. And we are done. Okay, let's do this again on our try. Okay, this time instead of talking about ages, we're talking about consecutive integers, but it's no different, right? Because if something, for example, if we're talking about the consecutive integers of, for example, 2, 3, 4, how'd you get from 2 to 3? If 2 is x, right, I added 1 to get 3, so that this expression is really x plus 1. And then if I went from 3 to 4, again, if I only added 1, but I'm still talking about in terms of x, then 4 is x plus 2. So when you talk about consecutive integers, you're really talking about x, x plus 1, and x plus 2. 3 consecutive integers. Okay, so it says, what are 3 consecutive integers whose product is 480? So the product, again, so x plus 1, x plus 2, is means equals, so equals 480 more than is addition, their sum. So remember that sum is going to be, and I should really use brackets, plus x plus 1 plus x plus 2. So let's go ahead and distribute. So if I distribute the x, that becomes x squared plus x times x plus 2 equal to 480. Combine all the x's, so x, and x is 3x, and 1 and 2 will give you 3. Okay, I'm going to do the box up top for my binomial, so that's x squared and x. Below that is x and 2, so that becomes x cubed. Below that is 2x squared, then x squared, and then 2x. So I will get x cubed plus 3x squared plus 2x on the left hand side, and on the right hand side, if I combine like terms, that's 3x plus 483. Okay, keep going. If I subtract 3x and subtract 483, I'm going to get x cubed plus 3x squared minus x minus 483 equal to 0. Once again, we will put that into our calculator, and so the 0 or the x value that we will get will be, or the 3 consecutive values, that we'll end up getting, the x value that we're going to get is 7. So if I keep going with the other consecutive value, 7 plus 1 is 8, And then the last consecutive integer would be 7 plus 2, which is 9. And we are done. If you have any questions, be sure to come in and see me for tutoring.